Hello guys, so yesterday we took apart our Peterbilt truck. This is the cab of it, and today I'm going to try and add the LEDs to the cab. So we talked about indicator LEDs, some 5mm super bright white LEDs there, and trying to do something with the top here so that we might get some, for example, green lights coming out of it. So I think it might look good in the dark if we did that. But that's the plan for today. We'll take this apart and see if we can add our LEDs to it. Okay, well here's the little section out of our cab. The little bits are hollow, so possibly my idea of just drilling a hole and putting the LEDs under it would work, but there's so much gaps between everything else that I think we'd have green light coming out everywhere. So what I think I might do instead is just very carefully cut a rectangular kind of a section out of here and put my LEDs in facing forward. That would mean that we'd have green spots in our main beams as well, so that might look better, but I suppose we'd probably keep the current on these down to the absolute minimum so that they weren't hugely bright. You don't want them brighter than your headlights. But I think if we put 5 of them in there, I think they might look pretty good, as long as I'm able to get them kind of recessed into it. Also, the hollow section will let the legs come down, so possibly the ground leg will come down through this hole, and I'll drill a little hole through the top for the positive leg, so it'll come down on the top, and that should hold it firmly in place. I think that's usually the kind of thing I try to do anyway. Okay, well here is one of the LEDs, kind of the way that I'm hoping to do them. I don't think it looks too bad. So here is a 1000 ohm resistor. Hook it up. It's just a dim kind of a green light. I can see a bit of a spot, so you can see it there just on my fingernail. So it is going to project slightly, but hopefully it'll not be overpowering, won't be too bright. That's kind of what we want. We just want it to look good in the dark, really. So hopefully that'll work out alright. I think I'll do that for the rest of them and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, well there's our new lights. I don't think they look too strange on the top of the cab there. It seems to be alright. I'll power them up here. I've 1k resistor, so 1000 ohm resistor, and I would imagine the current is going to be pretty microscopic, but I'll measure it now in a second after I show you how bright they are. So you can see there, they aren't particularly bright in the daylight. So they're not hugely bright in the daylight, but I'd say in the darkness they're going to look pretty good. So we don't really need them standing out in the daylight, we only really need them standing out in the darkness. So keeping the resistor low just saves our battery, not wasting power the whole time powering super bright LEDs for no particular reason. So there you are. Yeah, 0.151 milliamps. So that's obviously not going to massively impact our battery life, so that's what we really wanted. We wanted to add a little accent to the vehicle, and we didn't want to waste our battery, because if you had them on full power, they'd pretty much overpower the main headlights, so you don't really want that. You just want them to kind of stand out as a little extra feature on this truck, and I think they're going to look pretty good in the dark, but we have to wait till later to find out for sure. Okay, well now you can see I've added in the 6 5mm super bright white LEDs and the 2 orange indicator LEDs. So I'm going to wire the 6 5mm lights in parallel, and I'm going to use this 40 ohm resistor. This is one of the big resistors that we have for the IR emitter on the RC controller, the version 2 of the controller. So that's what I'm going to use for the 6 of these. That brings the current down to about 28-29 milliamps, and because the Atmega should be fit to handle, or it's recommended that it's fit to handle 40 milliamps, we shouldn't have any problem just connecting that straight to the board. So hopefully that'll work out alright. I suppose we won't really know until we're testing it out really what's going to happen, but in theory it should be alright. The LEDs, we'll wire them to LEDs in the rear of the model like we normally do, so nothing too strange there. Also, the size of this resistor, why it doesn't really bother me, is because we have the huge cavity inside this cab to use. So unlike most of the other models we're working on, we don't have space issues here. We can pretty much do whatever we want in this one. Okay, well, we've basically the front of the model sorted, so if we go to the back, I said I was going to replace this little piece, and this is what I have to replace it. Basically it's just the same thing, only with a bolt for a tow bar, so that's going to bolt on there, and we should be able to hitch our tow or our trailers to that, and I'm planning to put some lights on here. So if I can drill through here without breaking it, I'm going to add indicators, brakes and reverse lights, but we'll have to see, because it might just split along the joints here between the different layers in the print, so it might not work. We'll have to give it a go and see. Okay, well, I have my little replacement for this thing ready to go here. Basically I've soldered the grounds together, and the other legs I've just bent them up and over so that I can solder wires on the top and bring them straight into the side of this thing, and hopefully then we'll be able to bring them back through the model some way then. But for now they're just bent up there, so it'll fit up. It's going to end up looking something like this here. So pretty much the same dimensions as that old one. I know this axle is slightly wider. I mean, these two are even, and this wheel is tight up again, and this one's not, so that's because of the motor, and not much I can do with that really. But if you look at that, I think it's going to be alright in there. I think I'll mount the control board and the battery in what was the old battery compartment, just because it's going to be an easy access point, because there's only one screw. I can get in there, I can program it, I can take the battery out, whatever I need to do, and there's plenty of space in there. I had been going to put it under the cab, but it's much more difficult to get the cab off. You have to take the steering axle off, so I think what I'll do is just mount everything in this little compartment here, and I'll put a little connection, a wee 2.54mm DuPont connection from the lights in the cab here to the body of the truck. I think that is probably the easiest thing to do. Okay guys, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. It's been a few hours putting in LEDs into the cab and into the rear section here and printing that off. We have a good idea what we're going to do, wire it all into the old battery compartment there, and we'll put the DuPont connector on the cab. So I think we got a lot achieved now. Hopefully I have enough footage, but I'd say I would, but for one video with all the LEDs and that. But it's hard to know. I know I've been doing this for a few hours, but maybe I've only recorded a couple of minutes worth of footage. Sometimes it's a bit tricky like that. But I'm going to end the video here anyway, and in the next one we'll wire up all our lights, start putting things back together. I think I'll get the servo into this without much difficulty, but possibly I'll need to do a separate video for that. I'm not sure, but we'll just open it up, get started and see how we get along. But with any luck it'll just be a case of opening it up, putting the servo in, and that's it. But maybe it'll take another extra video. But hopefully in the next one we'll get everything wired up. We'll be able to test it out, drive it around and see how we get on. The flatbed part of it, that's going to be in another video, because I have a good bit of printing, 3D printing to do for that, and I'll have to get those lollipop sticks to kind of simulate the little wooden boards on the flatbed. But I think we're doing pretty good. If you like the video, make sure and hit the thumbs up, and any comments or suggestions let me know below the video, or head on over to the forum. And I think that's pretty much everything, so thanks very much for watching.